How is everyone doing today? And in this video, we are going to be talking about the 4-star that everyone is excited about, but I'll give it to that. He does look cool, but we're going to be talking about Seth today, and we're going to be talking about not only what he may be doing, what he would be doing, of course, from what we've seen in the stream and what we didn't see on the stream, and also talking about the defense role as a whole, just because right now, Ben is the only character that is a defense unit, and I really want to talk about what I want to see out of it in the future, just because I feel like it is lacking at the moment, of course, from it being scarce as a role, period. But overall, because right now there's not a lot of people actually using Ben, and I really want to talk about the defense role in that way. So before we get to all that, make sure you leave a like, comment, sub, all the different type of stuff, and let me know if you're excited for Seth, and of course all the other 5 stars in version 1.1. But of course, looking at Seth and what he's able to do, we saw that he was able to do a couple of attacks with his baton, but also the main part that everybody was very excited for was when he put the baton into his shield and made it into a freaking sword. I think that was really exciting, and I think that's really cool to see that they're taking that approach of having a character that has a completely different kit and a completely different way to play as they build up their gauge, as they build up their meter, anything else. This is really exciting, of course, for even a 4-star to have. But the main thing I want to talk about is what they said on stream. For the most part, the only thing they really gave us was that Seth is going to be given a shield buff, which we have with Ben. Now, the thing with shields, it's a little bit weird because right now in Zenless Zone 0, shields act as extra health for the most part, and not really anything in other than that for the most part. Right now, shields don't give a crazy amount of knockback resistance. That way you're able to keep DPSing the boss while you have the shield on. It's more like now you have extra HP you can waste when you do get hit, and it won't affect your actual HP, which is a really good thing for the most part. And these are effectively the sustains of the game in one way, shape, or form. Now with someone like Ben, he's actually able to give crit rate on his shield buff, which is a really nice thing. But now looking at Seth, what way are we going to look into how he's going to be a defense character? The way I was looking at it right now is that right now defense characters don't have crazy utilities behind them besides being able to give a shield, which for the most part, when you're playing Zenless, the main plan of the game is realistically to dodge and parry. That's basically the basics of what everyone knows. You don't necessarily need a shield for the most part, especially when it's not helping you with knockback resistance and it's not, I guess you could say, helping you out brute force your way into DPS, which is something we really don't want to do in the first place, just because it's better to be able to think out what exactly you're doing and plan out how you're going to be doing your DPS when you're fighting against these bosses. But for Seth, I really want to look at defense characters as probably a mix of a couple of different roles, because although it may be, I guess say, a crackpot theory or maybe even a tinfoil hat theory, but when they did play the stream footage of Seth and how he was playing, I did hear the anomaly sound play as he was hitting the enemies, and I just thought when looking at that, what if the defense characters were actually a mix of a bunch of different roles? What if there's defense characters that not only act as a sustain, but also can have factors come with them when it comes to anomaly, or possibly even the stun class, where we have, let's say, Ben. He does really good with having days built up on his attacks because they do a crap ton of days. Now, what about Seth? What if he's a sustainer but able to bring up electric anomaly by a great amount? That would be something that would actually make the defense class a little bit stronger than usual, a little bit stronger than what we initially thought, because if you're able to give a shield, you're able to give anomaly build up, then you're actually putting out a lot more results into having yourself put into a team. Because right now we have a lot of different teams that we can do when it comes to having double anomaly and a support, when it comes to having a DPS, a support, and a stunner. We kind of have those roles filled up for the most part, and that's pretty much the template of teams that we have right now. There's not really a bunch of different spots at the current moment where a defense character is absolutely needed, unless you're playing with someone like Coleta, who really likes Ben because of the enhanced kit, or you're overall playing a Belobog team or using the Belobog faction team, where Ben would be useful in that team as well. But you don't really see Ben being used on other teams that aren't those faction teams. So I really want Seth, although it would make sense to run them with other faction units, I don't want Seth to be in the position where he comes out and he's only good on one team, because a lot of people are excited about his kit, and looking at how his animations are, I am too. But I don't want him to just be, I give you shields and that's pretty much all I can do. I would love if Seth is able to do either damage, anomaly buildup, or stun. I think those are all really good aspects they can do. I do think maybe DPS might not be the best thing in the world, but it will be a welcome addition if added. I think stun would be a huge thing to do, especially with how strong stunning is in this game, with giving the damage multiplier, with keeping the enemy still. I think that would be really cool. And I think what would be my favorite thing is actually if they did Seth with extra anomaly buildup. That way he's able to synergize with Jane Doe, he's able to synergize with Grace, he's able to synergize with Piper and any other anomaly unit coming in the future. Of course, he's probably gonna have the faction bonus of having, or the team bonus of having the faction or electric DPS or electric teammates. So we're probably going to be stuck with the mono electric team or some type of electric team with the police team as well. So right now Seth has limited options of where he's going to be. Of course, they could change my mind. They could keep the pattern going where it's a role plus the element, or maybe even the role plus faction. They can go any which way when it comes to the team passive for Seth, because they've been changing a lot of stuff in the game as time has gone by. So right now I would just like the defense role to be able to be a amalgamation of a bunch of different teammates in the game right now. Being able to have anomaly, being able to have stun, being able to have DPS would be a super good thing. And going to Zenless right now itself, there really isn't many options for him when it comes to being a defense unit, especially when we start looking at the defense set itself, because the defense set isn't really that great. The defense set is going to be 2-piece, increases defense by 16%. Most likely this is going to be the best in slot set for a lot of the defense units coming out. But looking at the 4-piece effect, upon receiving an enemy attack and losing HP, the equipper takes 40% less damage for 2.5 seconds. This effect can trigger once every 15 seconds. Now the problem with this 4-piece is that for the most part, you don't really want to be taking damage in the first place. You want to be doing dodges, you want to do parries, because there's a lot of benefits to doing both when it comes to doing extra days, when it comes to being able to get more days with the parries, plus being able to close the gap as well between the enemy itself and going right back into the action with the next character. 4-piece effect really isn't that great, especially because you're not intending on taking damage in the first place, and it only is available for the wearer. This isn't for the whole team. Now, if it was for the whole team, I would understand this set a little bit more. That way you're able to get a easier time in not having as big of a hit as you would for the rest of your teammates when it comes to Shield defense in the final floors, when it comes to the harder modes inside Hollow Zero. This still would make a lot of sense if it gave the effect to the whole team, but sadly enough, this isn't the case. It's actually only for the equipper. So only someone like Seth or someone like Ben are the only characters that would be able to benefit from this extra defense. They're able to benefit from this damage taken in being reduced by 40%. So this set doesn't really do so well when it comes to being with the defense characters. Overall, we have just a bunch of different sets that may end up being better for Seth as a whole. Maybe something like the energy regen set for the chain attacks to give the whole team a boost, or maybe if they really do go down that route where he's able to be a stunner or an electric damage user where he's able to do more damage than he would with other teammates, then electric damage bonus set would be really cool. Or possibly what I would want the most, him being a stunner or him using the anomaly proficiency set. That way he's able to do multiple things. I just really hope that they work on the defense role a little bit more and flesh it out, because right now with Ben being the only character given the shields and doing what he does, there's not really a lot to base off of it. I do want to see really quickly the defense actual tip to see what they're trying to look forward to with this. Agents with the defense specialty have strong survivability, excelling at tanking attacks to counterattack, seizing the upper hand for their side in the heat of battle. This problem with this is it just feels very selfish in regards to not applying this to the whole team. Like I said, the shield is really nice, but the shield is just added HP and not really a knockback resistant boost to the point where you're brute forcing attacks. I do know it says in somewhere in the kit for the shield that you do get some knockback resistance, but it's not all of it though. That's the problem. And you're not able to tank these hits in where you're able to keep doing damage, keep doing what you're doing for the most part, and you're able to enjoy that shield. No, it's just you get knocked back, flung back. You just don't lose your actual HP, which sucks for the most part. There is one thing that the defense class has over everyone else, although I think it's not as useful as for me personally. But when defense users use their ultimate, I'm assuming that this is going to be a defense only boost, whereas you're going to get 3 assist points, so you're able to parry 3 more times, you're able to evasive assist 3 more times, which is a really nice thing for the most part. I think that's a really cool function to have, but I really hope when it comes to using other characters' ultimates, Right now, there isn't a huge need to use the ultimate on any other character that's not your DPS. Whenever you stun, you usually use your DPS's ultimate, have that nasty chunk of damage being taken to the enemy, be all that it is, and you're done. Not a lot of people are using support ultimates, although they are really nice in certain situations, but not used as often. Same thing that goes for the stunners. They may be used, but now you're losing DPS off of the ultimate. And the same thing goes for the defense characters. You get these 3 assist points, but in all honesty, by the time you get your chain attack for most of these enemies, you're going to get your assist points back anyway. So there's no real reason to have this ultimate give those assist points. So right now, we're just waiting for a lot of different aspects for a lot of future characters to come out to be able to flesh these out in regards to support supers, defense supers, stun supers. We'll just have to wait and see how that works out. But I do hope that in some way, shape, or form, they really work on Seth and make him a little bit more fleshed out, a little bit more broader in what he's able to do besides just give a shield. He'll probably give an attack boost. He'll probably maybe even have a damage boost attached to the shield to be in somewhat shape or form relevant as Ben is with giving the crit rate bonus that he gives for his team. So they're probably going to give him some buff with his shield. I just hope that the shield is worthwhile, has a lot of knockback resistance possibly, and has in some way, shape, or form allows either a buff of anomaly proficiency, mastery, or stun for the team, or maybe even just for himself, which will put him in a really good position. Other than that, that's pretty much it when it comes to this video in regards to talking to Seth. It's really fun to look at these characters and see what they're going to do. I'm very excited for Chingy, very excited for Jane Doe, and super excited for Seth as well. But other than that, that's going to be it for this video when it comes to talking about Seth. See y'all guys in the next one, and peace.